Hello. My voice is awful, and for whatever reason, my iPad and everything is saying that I'm in overload. So I am going to do this on my phone. So at this point, I am just rehooking up things. So you're going to have a little walkabout here till I can get my phone into the handler so that it shows. Hang on, rotate my phone. You can't rotate while it's on. Well, I'm having to do that anyways. Let's see what happens. Well, we got it. How's that, people? I won't be able to see anything other than my table. This is over me, and I hope you can follow along, and we'll see how this goes. So I am going to play with the fabulous Paper Rose Bees and Butterfly collection, and we're making this expandable, fabulous card, and it looks so cute. So, if you didn't, under discussion, we have the printable available, and I usually post it half an hour before. So for anybody that hasn't done it before, that's where you go to find them. Under the live event discussions and under the comments is the printable. So let's see how far we can get. And I won't be able to see in front of me if you are making comments or anything. So with that in mind, I will just take my time, and hopefully if there's something we can help with you later, I will check before we say goodbye. And I'm going to have a sip of water before I start. Now, I haven't tried it before, but I have all these fabulous papers. So what I did was, I have definitely, I usually use regular cardstock, but I have this amazing paper from Simple Stories. The Color Bible collections are plain on one side and polka dots on the other. And there's lots and lots and lots of different colors. So with that in mind, I'm going to try it today and see how it works. Because you should be getting some of this plain and dot coming through if we try this. I didn't want to try a print, but I thought trying this dot pattern might get the job done. So I do have my 2 sheets that are 5.5 by 2.5 on the end is what we have to do. So 5.5 by 12. And this is where in my cutting, I will mark 2.5. So I want to go from there to here. So at 2.5, I put a little tick mark. And if you can get it in your cutter from the point until you go to your tick mark and cut. There's the first one. And on the second one, it's always the reverse. So from there to, I'm going to make sure that these are the same. I think I haven't done it before with prints, but we're going to go for it. So let's try it. If things are backwards, we'll just have to fix it because I haven't tried it. Okay, 2.5. And we are going from the point to the 2.5 tick mark and go. Now it tells you to fold. I've got my sheet in front of me, so we're looking at it. Now we're going to do our scoring. And as you can see, it's every 2 inches. So from left to right and right to left. Excuse me. Now, the easiest thing to do, it doesn't matter which way you do this, because you're doing the same lines all the way through. So we are going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. We might have to fold it the opposite way. And 10. There we go. And I'm going to do this one. We have to figure out which way they're going to go after the fact, but we at least have our markings. So that's the easy part. Let me get rid of this big board. I'm in smaller space at the condo in Florida, so I kind of have to make things work. And like I said, I'm sorry I can't see everybody, or if you're asking anything, because you're above my head. At the end, I will grab my phone and see if anybody has any questions that I can deal with before we complete the video. Now, I have some pieces that I need to move. And I also was playing with my paper. So I embossed a plain piece of the dot. Well, it's not even, it's part of the paper with butterflies. And I embossed it with the lattice, which is Gina K's lattice 5x7, and it's a great miscellaneous one. I prefer to have some plainer ones that you can use with everything and use them over and over and over again. So I'm going to step them aside. Now, what it tells you to do is you have an A and a B, because this is where they're opposite, right? So what you're going to do though is, starting at the smaller side, and I need my pencil, there it is, and I don't like measuring, but boy, this is when you have to measure. So what it tells you to do is, on one of them, you mark from the top down, and on the other one, you go from the bottom up. So on this one, the first one, I'm going to go from the top down, and you start at the little side, and it says 1.5 inches. So at 1.5, put a tick mark, and then skip a row and go to 2 inches and put a tick mark. It is not hard. Skip a row and 2.5. 2.5. Now, this is the first one. So I'm going to grab my scissors and cut it right away so I remember. This one is the top. So you cut to your tick mark, and you cut to your tick mark, and you cut to your tick mark. There you go. So set this one aside and bring this one in. Now it tells you to mark from the bottom. So turn it sideways, and from the bottom we now go again 1.5, skip 1, 2, skip 1, and 2.5. It really is just that easy. So now come in, and you're going from the bottom instead of the top. So there it is. Now in the picture, it shows the folding. So if you take a look at the actual photo, this is the photos, and we have a left and a right. And so with that in mind, this is where I show this one. I show the cuts on the top. So let me just check here. That means this one goes this way and this way. Now I'm just hoping, like I said, that all my panels go the same. So now this one goes this way. Oh, now it has to face me this way. Goes this way, over and back. So just follow the pictures. And so it does work. So I have plain, dot, and plain. So it works pretty good. I'm happy with that. So now what it tells you to do. Now I've been putting them together and then coming back and decorating. So the best thing to do then is the one with the slots on the bottom is going to go on top of this one. So you are going to start, space them a little, and put your slots on top of the slots. There we go. Now you might have to get them all kind of started, figure out where they're going, and you have to wiggle them. Just be patient. You have to get them all kind of started. So the slots are matching up. There's that one. Okay, push. There we go. And it just takes patience. And then now, this is where if you gently push them, there is your card base. It looks fabulous. And I have to tell you, other than it's plain, plain, dot, dot, plain, plain, it didn't do exactly what I was hoping. But it'll get the job done, and I really like the colors. I like it being colored because this here will be beautiful on top of it. Now I got a couple little fray but going on here. So now this is where I suggested if you wanted to cut an extra one and cut pieces, because then I cut these shorter to fit. So I'll be honest with you though, what you can do is, I don't think I wrote it down, but I will. Oh, I did. 1 7/8 strips should work. Optionally alternate the layers and colors. So what I was saying was, if you cut some cardboards that are 1 7/8 and cut strips, this is what I did, then bring the strips in, and I mark 3L and 3R left and right. So here is 3L. So if you check, now I had it absolutely the same size when I first cut it. It's either that or bring in your longer one. Like if this was going like this, come in and just cut off a little bit. So now that can be centered. I might even cut a smidge more. Excuse me. So now, this one, I want to get a middle. This is where you make your templates fit. And I did think it was easier just to cut 1 7/8 strips until I had enough to do each of the panels. So this one, and then when you flip it over where I put 3R, then it should fit automatically on this one also. So that's how easy that is. Now I put 1 and I said front R and front left. So here is the left. See, now I'm going to cut. This is where I might have to adjust them just a little because I cut everything 1 7/8. So if it's not quite right, now you can custom fit them. Either that or leave them cut out of the print and then custom fit. Because every time you make it, if your folds are a little different, they will fit different. So there's that one, and it goes here. And just keep them in line. Let me sort mine. So there is my back one, my front one, and I did front and then level 1, 2, 3. So this one should fit in here, and that's left front. Now see, it doesn't quite fit, but that, if I can cut my print and then custom fit it, I'm going to leave that. And the next one, the same thing. Now, this is where I don't think I even need to do one. I'm going to decide, because I kind of like the polka dots, but I'm not sure where I want the polka dots. So with that in mind, these are my basic templates, and I'm going to say again, they just might need a slight adjustment. So do your front, and then layer 1, 2, and 3, and you've got them marked left and right. So these are my templates that will go with my instruction sheet, and that should make it easier. Now, I'm going to show you, I just happen to be working with 12 by 12 paper, and it's huge. So what I'd like you to do is bring in, I want my first one, and I'm going to do my last one, because I've already decided that. And this is where, if this is the front right, and it's on that side, it means this is where I want my sentiment. And I've actually done some stamping of happy birthday, congratulations, and happy anniversary in white and gold. And I was using, let me grab it. I'm trying to share things as I'm doing it here. This is fabulous. Gina K again. Parisian Charm had the great titles and the sentiments, so I did use them again. So this was one I decided then that fit on the panel. Excuse me while I have a sip of water. I have to tell you, I feel fine, I just don't sound fine. You could tell stories about me and I wouldn't be able to yell back and say, no, 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 no. I had that happen once. So now, because I have the panel and it's pretty close, and this is on the right side, just so you can see, right side. And this is where I did decide to put my title. So what I did was, it is so nice to bring in your template. And I picked this pretty part of the flower, and I have pre-drawn the lines so that I can see it. And then you flip it over, so that's on one side. And this is where I didn't know if I wanted to go way up there and have more white or the gorgeous flowers. So I changed it up and I moved it down. So I've now, there's my pattern for the front. I then took the back panel, the same, and it has right and left. So on the right side, I went on this part where the beautiful flowers are. Now remember, the top's going to show more than anything else. So I was being fussy and I wanted the pretty flowers. So there you go. And then on the other side, I wanted the ferny. See, I didn't want to just come back in really heavy. because they are side, well, I could, if you really wanted heavy, heavy flowers. I don't mind. I could come down. I really have options here. Just remember that I'd be cutting them off, and it looks like they got cut off. I kind of like the top one. I'm going with this one. So I'm going to cut these first now and move out my templates, because once I lay them in, I will then have an idea. You know, because there was a beautiful piece of green on the back of one, and this is where I have to decide, do I want more print and green? And I definitely want something, I like the polka dot that's already there, and I also like the embossed piece. So now I'm just going to cut. Now remember, I said we might have to come back and trim just a little bit, but we at least have a basic. You have to have a basic start, otherwise it's really, really hard. And this just makes it easier. And since I tried that trick about cutting the strips 1 7/8, it definitely has made this cutting portion very much easier. Okay, I can't see my line. There it is. Sometimes when you get into the prints, you have to be careful. A dark line can look like a pencil line. Now, one of these went right to the very bottom. There we go. So you can pick and choose. You can go print and print. You can go print and an accent. You can go print and cardstock. This is where I knew what I wanted front and back, and my questionables are in the middle. So now, this is where I know, get out my paper clips, people. My favorite thing. Because now, if I have to trim them, I can, which I'm going to have to a little bit. But before I even trim, I want to know for sure what pieces are going where. And see, I really like that. Congratulations up there on top of the flower. And the other side is perfect. And this is where I was watching. And remember, the corners go out. Well, that one doesn't quite do exactly what I thought, but it'll do. This is where you can add more accents also. Anything that has just a little bit of, it could be stickles or gel dots, all kinds of fun things. See, now this is where I'm going to bring in the two pieces that all I cut was the 1 7/8 pieces. Okay, that's why I said it's fun to be able to do that portion and know that it's kind of gonna fit. Now, I also have, like I said, see, I cut a green panel, because see, now I can decide, do I want to change my color up right away and put some fun green, and then come back in. I want to do variegated for sure, or I might go to variegated right away. And this is where, excuse me, I can leave the yellow, or I can go to green, because it would be pretty, and there is green popping. Oh my, this is where I really, really like the fact that the dots are showing. I kind of like that. And the dots will show there if the green's there, and the plain will work on that section. So this is level number 1, 2, 3. So this is level 1. So I need to get, that's my front. So here is my panel. And in order to see what I'm doing, and I might have to trim it, but I definitely at this point have decided that I like that, I like that, and I like that, and we might change the color on that one. So from here, dot, another color, and the plain cardstock. This is where we can have some fun then. Now this is where that was the right, so I have to flip it over, and I now need to cut the left side. Now it had a bit of pattern on the bottom, but I'm going to save it in case I change my mind on using what I've got here. Okay, so let's stick this cutie in here. See, now I'm not having to stick them so much, they're kind of stuck in there. I like this here, and this is where. The other thing, just so you know, the back of this one has butterflies, and that was my other option. I don't think I want to go to that other coloring, and I could go to the variegated again the second time. But I also, just so you know, this has pretty flowers also. So I could be cutting a top of a flower and flip this over and have green leaves on the other side. Or we could go with the green. That is kind of pretty. I'm just going to see. So this is now level 2, and this is the left, what am I doing first? Left side. So I'm going to cut it. Sometimes you don't know till you see it. So I'm going to cut it so I can see it. And this is where your options are endless. So just have fun. Okay. On the other one, we have to see the R. So this is number 2R. So like I said, cutting templates, just cut strips on your 12-inch run and cut them and then make them fit. That was the easiest way I could think of. Okay, this one has to go here. I actually don't mind that at all. I like the change. And this is where it's giving you the options of embossing, dots, green, cardstock, and another floral in the background. And that really is quite pretty. And the other thing that I didn't write about, let me grab my sample, if I can find it. Here it is. I actually put 2 pieces on the back of this one. I didn't have pieces that would have fit the whole thing, but if you have a panel that fits, it could go straight across. This one I just used my 1 7/8 panels and cut them, but we could go 1 piece on the back and just get the tops done. So that could be another option, which the butterflies on the back I thought might be a really good option for that. So this is where I'm just going to take this. See, I had these figured out if I wanted some butterflies on the front in here, but I like the change of color. So I think I'm going to, the butterflies are all over the place, up, down, sideways. It's crazy, and I'm so picky. I think I think I want my main part of my butterflies right in there. So I'm going to take, I bury my pencil all the time. There I go. I think I'm going to rub out the lines I see. See, I had those all prepared because I take time doing that, and I thought, oh, if I don't figure it out before yous come on, then I end up wasting so much time just picking things. And I know you can take your time and pick them. Once we make the base, this part is easy. So now this is where I'm going to see if I would put, I'm going to come over because I have almost a whole butterfly there. And just for now, I'm going to have a temporary and yes, I probably am going to have to trim it. But it's so much easier to start with something that's just a little bigger instead of having all this paper and trying to get at least a start of something. Excuse me again. Yeah, this tickle in my throat makes me cough. And the more I talk, I guess the worse it is too. So let's bring it back. I'm going to do it last anyways. And this is where, see, I would make sure the top fits. And I'm going to cover the whole back. So when I hold it sideways now, I could glue it on. And then I can see where to cut it. So that's the other option. Because see, I'm seeing the whole, there's a whole edge. Where is it? There it is. Going all the way down. And all the way across. So that will look pretty on the back. And this is where, I know I did that there, but you also could put a white panel, or you can just write on here, or write a verse or whatever, or stamp it. Because it's still fairly light, you can decide. So now, this is the easy part, now that we have the pieces kind of organized. And this is where I just go one at a time, and I bring it back in. And I do want a bit of yellow. So if I pull this over, I'm just going to cut a little piece. And if I have to cut it 3 times, I will, versus getting it wrong. Don't ever do it that you cut too much all at once. See, now I got a little, needs a little help on this side. Sometimes you have to tip it up so you can see. I got to go from here to here and get a little bit more. I love it. Much better. And I got my Barely Art Glue. And I'm loving it with the fine tip. It gets the job done. Now, there was a plaid and I did see it. It just, I don't know. It's pretty. And if I needed another different color, it would be awesome. But the pieces are not big. So I kind of like, I still like what I chose. I'm going with it. See, now just pick this up so you can see the outer edges. So you know you're back on your center. But I am going to have to check what's going on, because the video was fine yesterday and I actually turned off some phones and my computer and my pad in order to get my phone to work while Kenny does have the TV on in the other room. But it definitely is an issue. So we're going to have to check it out. They can't interfere with me and my ladies having fun. Okay, I need a smidge of the right side or left side and the bottom. And like I said, start with a little bit. And I said bottom. I don't want to lose the bottom, so I'm going to go to the top. Because I want the pretty flowers. There we go. Now, this is where too much, I got enough there and I need more there. And like I said, every time we do these, when you're doing your scoring, if you score a little bit different, and when you put them together, they're going to move just enough that your pieces won't be identical each time. And that's why I have come to the conclusion to at least get a base start. Isn't that pretty? I'm happy with that. Now, back inside. See, now the ones back in here don't show as much. So if they go in a little tighter, that doesn't even matter. So this one looks good already. I'm happy with this. It's a little harder. Gotta make sure you catch the variegated part of the embossing. Whoops. And I really should use my pinchers so I don't get so full of glue. Excuse me. There we go. Slide it in. Okay, go to the other side. And this is where, as long as this side is too heavy on the center. Now, when you get to the centers though, they don't show as much now anymore. Mostly on the front one. Catching the grooves. Remember, these will be cute for kids' parties. Anybody. I'm using so many flowers. Excuse me, I need a drink. I hope you guys are following along and/or excited to be making this at some point yourself, because they really are pretty and they stand up so nice. I did do one bigger at one point and just changed the sizes if you were changing envelope sizes, and it did work. I like the fact that we could use the dots and the cardstock. I think that was cool. That was just one more little element, which I wasn't sure until we did it. Okay, I have to take a smidge off the bottom. Like I said, a smidge, and then check it, and then go again. But I know the smidge will do it on this one. Now, if you didn't want the dot showing again, you could go all the way to the top on this one. I'm just going to cheat and pull it off, and I'm just going to leave less space up there so that it is more green. Okay, I need a little bit on the bottom and some on the inside of this one. Like I said, cut 1 7/8 is pretty standard, and it seems to be working. There we go. It was the easy way. And like I said, the flowers on this are pretty, but seriously, when it's standing, you don't see too much once you get inside. It's only the top section, the top little corner. Oops. Okay. Just firmly push. That's good. I like it. I like it. Now, inside. This one needs a trim on the bottom, on the inside. It's just like the angle was crooked. There we go. And I could do a smidge. That's working good. I'm happy. And this is where if somebody really looks at the other colors, they're still going to look pretty back in there. But, like I said, unless they pick it up and kind of look, it definitely didn't pop out at you. There. See, this is where, if they happen to look, it is pretty. So you don't want to just do it junky. You want to make sure that it still looks nice. Okay, I need a smidge on the inside and the bottom. There's got to be something about the inside and the bottom on this last one. Wasn't a lot. If it doesn't fit, I'll just do a bit more. No, that's good. I think the fun part is that when you make them and share, we love to see, because changing up the colors and designs and patterns just gives such a good look and a fun look to see the changes. You can put a bunch of cards all made identical beside each other as far as design, but the variety you get from changing paper, and everybody sees something different. That's why they're so personal. And when you gift them, those people that know what effort you put in make such a difference. See, now look at all my little funny pieces. This is where I trim. Just give me a minute. There. It's in my garbage, where it should be. And see, that's pretty. I like it. Now, if you really thought you wanted, this is where I might see the other day on this one, all the white jumped at me because this was so soft. The one time I did it in dark and light, and then going from dark to light, it was great. This was a little softer, and I just added the flowers. And this is where I actually have some fun things to add, but like I said, I haven't got everything out and sorted yet. So, see, this is actually pretty. This is where, just so you know, I'm just going to see if I have some white. This is where I don't have a lot of stash paper yet. Let me grab, I'll cut one, only because I can. Probably here. Because the print we have here really is quite nice. So I'm just going to chest this. want to show you. If you want some of the pretty yellow showing, there's no reason why you can't decorate this. This is where I'll try and, this is where I might even cut out. We have fun little butterflies. So instead of a full back, we could go like this. This is where just use your imagination and have fun. I'm going to, now some of the butterflies have a bit more gold color and some are just a little soft beigey color. So I'm going to be really fussy. Because this is kind of a cute idea also. And I don't think it has to be that wide. As long as we can get the person's name in the verse. Yeah, see, I like a little more color yet. That's cute. And I'm going to cut another one. And I want the darker wing one. And remember, I told you, when you're fussy cutting, you turn the paper more than your actual cut. It's easier. And come back in from the outside when you're doing a real tiny slit. Yeah, I think that's cute. Actually, I'm going to do one up, one down. And I'm going to leave space for them to write. And I think I like that. Now just remember, I only need to put a little bit of glue. Get these guys sticking and then I can put them on. Because it'll help for centering. So if there's any American friends on, happy Thanksgiving. And to the Canadians that are just having another day, I hope your day is great too. There we go. So there we have our very pretty card. And like I said, it can be, see now this is where some of your colors do show a little bit from the side when you do that. It is pretty. Now, I can't find what I really want. And I do have a couple flowers. And I do have some gemstones. So until I find what I really want, I'm going to put the lid back in my glue. Don't forget to do that, otherwise it sticks and closes things in behind. So what I'm going to do, I'll come back and share mine after I do all the accents that I haven't found yet. I'm still sorting through everything, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. I hope you love yours too. There we go. They look fun. Now, I'm going to make you dizzy while I grab my phone. Because I have to. The instructions go into the live event. And under discussions and in the comments, you will find the printable. I'm going to turn you because I can't see here. Okay, just a sec. Oh, that's good, Jackie. And Debbie and Ann. So glad you could join. But, like I said, if I have to use this phone to do this for a couple of days till I sort things out. But first, I hope by Tuesday my voice is better so that it isn't so bad. Everybody, take care. See you again soon.